One of the most outrageous things I have heard in a long, long time.
In a case that has been filled with outrageous.
In 2022, the first cracks appeared when Wells Fargo filed a petition claiming Wendy was not competent to manage her affairs. They alleged she was being unduly influenced by her son. Documents show that Kevin Jr. tried to access her accounts and even sought power of attorney while she was reportedly disoriented. The bank refused, and within days, Wendy's financial control was gone. What looked like protection became imprisonment. She was placed under a guardian named Sabrina Morrissey, and from that point on, nothing about Wendy's life was truly her own. According to people close to her, she wasn't even allowed to own a phone or decide who could visit her. The woman who once phoned into live radio to grill rappers could now only make outgoing calls from a landline. While Wendy was confined and battling Graves' disease and what her guardian later called dementia, her son allegedly went on a spending spree. Sources familiar with the case say he burned through his mother's cash on luxury rentals, extravagant travel, and business projects that never materialized. One insider described it as a vanishing act of millions. He reportedly signed contracts on her behalf that turned out to be disastrous, bleeding her brand dry while she was too ill to intervene. When the dust settled, much of Wendy's wealth, once estimated in the tens of millions, was gone. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. The queen of exposing other people's drama was suddenly drowning in her own family's mess. And the betrayal, those who know her say, cut deeper than anything her ex-husband's affairs ever did. Wendy has told friends she feels set up that her own family became the downfall of her empire. Those close to her claim she had warned her financial advisor years earlier not to let her son near her accounts. She reportedly said, "If something happens to me, lock it all down." But by the time that warning mattered, it was too late.
I've never taken it without her consent. I've always spoken to her, and she's always wanted me to spend her money.
As her health declined, Kevin Jr. seemed to gain influence. He was listed as an executive producer on her final documentary and reportedly pushed for new projects, even as she struggled to speak clearly on camera. The film, meant to be a comeback story, ended up exposing her at her weakest. Viewers saw a woman unsteady, confused, sometimes agitated. The payout was a fraction of what she was promised. Her son, however, collected fees and credit. Insiders whispered that the documentary's release marked the moment Wendy realized she had lost control, not just of her career, but of her own name. In public, Wendy insists she's fine. At New York Fashion Week this year, she appeared front row, dressed in fur and diamonds, smiling for cameras. But those close to her say it was a performance of survival. Behind that polished image is a woman furious at how her life has been rewritten. When she was granted temporary permission to leave her assisted living facility, she reportedly called it a luxury prison. She told The Breakfast Club in January, "I'm not cognitively impaired." Those words hit like a declaration of war. She's now openly challenging the system that keeps her under guardianship and blaming her son for triggering it. The financial paper trail is haunting. Court records show that her son's push to access her accounts was what first alerted Wells Fargo that something was wrong. Soon after, the guardianship became permanent, and every dollar Wendy made went through court approval. Her estate began paying enormous fees, over $25,000 a month for her residence alone, plus legal costs and retainers. Meanwhile, her son's condo in Florida, once paid by her, stood as a reminder of how much he'd gained while she lost everything.
I feel like the guardian has not done a good job of protecting my mom. As long as she has people around who are yes people, I know that she's not getting the help that she needs or getting better.
Friends describe Wendy as both furious and frightened. Some say she spends her days listening to old recordings of her radio shows, reliving the years when her voice was her power. Others say she's plotting, determined to reclaim control and expose what really happened to her fortune. Her supporters call it the Free Wendy movement, echoing the cries that once surrounded Britney Spears. But the whispers behind the scenes are darker. Industry insiders believe a larger network may be keeping her locked in place, benefiting from her silence. We can't ignore the pattern. Her ex-husband, Kevin Hunter, once on her payroll and now cut off from alimony, is reportedly drowning in debt. Lawsuits, unpaid bills, and claims of luxury possessions sold off for cash have followed him since their split. His downfall mirrors Wendy's in eerie symmetry. Some close to her even suggest that the same people who once managed her career and profited from it are now ensuring she stays quiet while they fight for the remains. Her son, caught between those legacies, seems to be at the center of every financial mess attached to her name. Now, as Wendy continues to appear in public, front row at shows, dinners in Manhattan, sources say it's not freedom, but strategy. Each outing is reportedly a message to the court that she's capable, coherent, ready to take her life back. Her personal lawyer, Joe Tacopina, has called the guardianship unjust and despicable, vowing to challenge it. Yet even he's not officially recognized by the court. Everyone around Wendy, it seems, claims to represent her.